rounds. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. The other side of this is GAMBIT defending first. If they put up a big margin, we're going to see G2 again kind of hit desperation mode, playing from behind.
Well, look, this is where I'm going to just purely be looking at how does G2 adjust, because we know that GAMBIT are pretty consistent. I feel like they always at least hit this certain level that is extremely solid. Now, I want to see that elevation coming out from G2. We're going to see if we can find it already. Chronicle seems a little under pressure, but not too out of sorts so far, kind of forced into an unfavorable position, but he's still alive for now, and he's got the support coming in of Redgar, so already support's on the way. Chronicle's still holding space, and G2 haven't been able to take the back lines of the site. They're still trying to protect that plant, but it's Shados right there, right in time to find so much damage, and it's already on the board. GAMBIT straight away get the pistol. There was a spike plant, there was 2 kills coming for G2, but this is pretty clean stuff.
Yeah, and again, the time bought, even just a small thing like the shock dart to force Kellogg's out there, it gives up some of that front sight control, right? Kellogg's then has to, I mean, it saw it off screen, but Defo actually finds the kill on Kellogg's inside tube, like on site. Yeah. So again, at that point, they can just swarm. Again, actually, I didn't even spot Nuki fall at exactly the same moment. You can see Cordamenta tries to pick up that point there to stop the rotation coming through, but it's too late at that point. As soon as that one falls, before the spike's even down, they've given up so much. And I think, actually, if I'm not mistaken, Kellogg's was running a ghost, right? So he only really had the one smoke to use to get onto site and kind of sustain a little bit.
Oh, Chronicle. He's heard enough. He's got audio cues. He knows what's coming his way. How much damage can he do? From death from above, maybe? Yeah, he's still alive. Gets away with murder. As Mixwell did find Shados. Can Cordamenta do any more damage? No. It's, again, 4 alive. No spike plant. 1 taken down.
As I say, the scary thing is as well, with Chronicle playing as well as he did on map 1 with an Odin, he has been deadly on ICEBOX in particular. Yes. Particularly on the defense, right? His willingness to go further forward than most teams would anticipate, even on rounds like that, right? Yes, it's a save round as well, but it's risky, right? I mean, we even question it. The recon bolt comes through, and he's faced with kind of jumping down towards 3 members of G2 with a Spectre. Yes, it's the Rainer, but he has to find that first. That's going to be something I keep my eye out on for the buy rounds as well, because his first blood percentage is insane, and the number of rounds that GAMBIT are able to just capitalize on that. Look at this here. I mean, Nuki's going to boom bomb. Hopefully that spots him. It will. Thank God for that, because that's the sort of spot that we see him in. Straight away, next round. Look at it, Lauren.
Yeah, it's it's nastiness, isn't it? Nuki's red. Ooh, he still took a little bit of damage, but he controlled Chronicle well enough. I'm waiting to see if there's maybe a little bit of space to be found. Redgar's trying to find it as well. And Mixwell tries to keep his head down. Does get noted, but again, this is all leaning towards B, and it will be just Nats on the other side. But again, weaponry is light. This is the bonus. Now, unable to find Nuki, who's still holding on to this. Shados. Oh, Nuki's on now. Redgar trying to close the gap. That's a rifle now garnered. How is he still alive over there? That's the thing that worries me. The Nats is still just lingering around here. Now there's a wall. There's... Sorry, excuse me. 2 walls. He's still gone unnoted. Is there any way you can find a little bit of space? No, it's Avova to find it. Very well done by Avova. Kept composure and was kind of pretty curious. Where's that Viper? Where is Nats? If we know where he's at, if we know where he's going to be playing consistently, they know as well. So they're probably a little curious. They didn't obviously clear that kind of deeper portion of the site, so maybe considering he was still lingering around. So well done to G2 to maintain that sort of, I guess, presence towards it. And also Nuki to not fall too early on that A piece, you know, make sure no one can push through. A couple of good pieces working out there for G2.
Sure, and actually that's 2 members, right? We saw Mixwell even playing deep on mid as kind of a backup, I guess, just in case Nuki falls from being overwhelmed from, you know, Chronicle trying to push out. The next big test is now, though. Again, talk about the... Ooh, Defo might have just actually spotted that jumpy. He's going to hear the sound cue anyway, but Kellogg's now stuck up on top of the crate. Aldro going to clear out. Force Defo back initially, but Kellogg's unable to capitalize now.
They would have called there's a chance that someone's crossed up tube. Shados instantly goes for it. Good damage from Mixwell there, though. Slow comes out, trade out of Util. Shados has to respect it. What a trade out there as well towards middle. Mixwell's going to fall off this, though.
He's not really able to capitalize on that space. And that's, I was sort of shocked on, might have been good, but Redgar trying to spam him out of that position. Kellogg's still on B main with Cold Mentor actually close by. G2 playing is very slow. Again, just waiting for Gambit to give something away.
Yeah, and Nats is still in a good enough spot. Yeah, they didn't expect Nats to swing on that, but he only's going to get Kellogg's for this. It does keep Defo alive, but the site will be lost, and they still maintain a little bit of that late mid control. I think you're going to see Nuki kind of keeping track of that, but yeah, very, very patient from G2, almost very unlike them. Look at this, just pause for thought here, waiting for the ability to cross to come in. There's the wall going up, if over going to get the plant.
And that wall preventing any damage coming through the double box. We find ourselves now in a 4v4. If G2 can hold on here, Avova going to play very close contact on the wall. The wall just got a perfect timing there for Mixwell to cross. Might even get spanned out here. I mean, Mixwell just wants to draw a little bit of attention early on. I didn't even spot Redgar. Up here he's going to find Nuki. 2 kills come through. The third as well for Gambit.
It all looked so right for G2. How is it just Mixwell now? Pressure mounted. Shados finds him. And the defuse is going to come on through. They've got the op. That looked like it was wrapped up. I thought G2 had all the pieces finally working for them. But that flank hypoc, it came out of nowhere.
Literally out of nowhere. And you can't fault GT. The setup is perfect. It comes down to within 3 seconds, everything goes right for Gambit.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you know, when you lose 2 people that in quick succession like this, there's no recovery, right? There's no way to recover this round at this point because there's 2 people then swinging, looking 2 completely opposite directions. Actually, Cold Mentor and Mixwell are the last 2 alive, and they're the worst 2 to be alive at the end of that, right? Because they're not in tradable positions. They're not in a position where they can stack up and beat the same thing. What a retake from Gambit again, though.
The timing of it, too, Hypoc. It was so patient. I feel if G2, you're sat there going, wow, no one's found a pick on us. We're sitting here perfectly pretty. But we're into the next one. I can't sit back and wait because we actually have a buy coming out as well for G2. It's a little weak around the edges and Chronicles unfazed. Until then, Nuki finds him, but a trade is instantaneous. Shados never going to let someone take a step further than he has to. And now we're down to 3. Cordamenta, Evolver, and Kellogg's all roughly in the same place. No mid-lurk, no late flank. This is all towards the site. 3 on the back lines as well for Gambit. And you still have that late lurk in Nats coming through middle, making sure no one's on that quick play. But Shados still holds the line, and he's still the only one on the side.
Oh
Shados! The guy's on today. Absolutely scything them down. Spike is now lost. He's going to just say, all right, well, you got to get past me, Cordamenta. And he's up for that challenge, Cordamenta! Huge reply.
Big round for G2 to, I mean, I'll say it, stop the bleeding in the early rounds because, you know, that actually as soon as Gambit got in control of the economy, things spiraled out of control on the previous map. So Cordamenta coming up huge here. Shados actually, I gotta say, yes, the wall kind of blocks Cordamenta off, but I can't help but feel like if he walls himself off there and it goes generated to 410, at least he has you know, some more comfort, right? He has a little pocket to play inside, and at least then, you know, if Nat falls, then there's the opportunity to survive.
Ooh. Waiting for the count to 3 and pull the trigger, but it's a little bit more attentive. Look how pushed up Gambit currently are. 1 towards B long, 1 towards tube, and then 2 kind of pressuring towards that A side. Not super deep, but enough of a problem. Nats.
Oh no.
Hearing the steps.
Oh,
now he's going to call this out, so you're going to see the rotation from Redgar. He's already going to start leaning towards the site. But it's all about patience. He sees the gun barrel. He wants it. Oh, he's actually tagged him twice. The third.
No way.
He knows there's another close. He has no support with him. He's on an island right now, but he's still such a problem for G2. But this is an unfavorable range. He's gotten away.
That going untraded is awful. Awful for G2. Nuki actually will respond elsewhere, but actually, as I say that.
Yeah, but they can quick rotate.
Yeah.
They can still get players across towards A because they can leave Nats to just be that B pillar. They know that it's not going to be through at least B. He hears nothing towards middle, and that pick just came in towards A. This kind of paints a picture of G2's intentions. And still, there's 1 player awaiting, and it is Chronicle. This could be dangerous. There's the swing from Redgar.
No
Chronicles
way, man.
capitalized. This is huge. Gambit still finding so much value. Look at Nats. How has he gotten here? But there's still potential, still hope, still a chance. Shados fancies none of what I'm trying to sell as Coldamenta called upon again. But this time it's Chronicle to say no.
Gonna hear.
Again, the timing is perfect, right? The only benefit would have been if at the point at which all of that time is bought by Nats, right? And I think it's Redguard that eventually comes and backs him up. If somebody's pushing mid, right, with a Sheriff or anything to take a ranged battle, because I think actually, what was it, a Ghost and a Spectre other than this Bucky purchase?
It wasn't much, yeah.
That would be the only saving grace for Gambit. But Nuki responds elsewhere. The timing's perfect for G2, right? I said it was awful if they couldn't capitalize on that pick or trade it out. But still, they win out versus Rifles on A.
That was off the back of Nats, and that positioning was so good. This guy's having a series. Dangerous player, certainly catching the attention of the international scene as well now. But now he's got all the attention of G2 coming his way. There's one player looking towards the A side, but everyone else is on Nats' back. He does have support. Sova, Redguard's by his side. And he does have, you know, Chronicle slowly working middle, but it's not an all-in. Now they've rotated, they've hit these rotations off the back of this. They are leaning back towards A, which then puts the pressure towards Defo.
Indeed. Operator in hand, still got the dash, so a very deep angle on Rafters right now. Nuki and Mixer have been here for the majority of the round so far. 45 seconds left. Recon got to come through. Defo got to be careful.
Well.
Perfect.
Couldn't adjust. Kellogg's lovely entry. Needs a bit more though. Wants that space. Chronicle gets denied. Is he pushing through that? They are brazen in this. They're still trying to trade in on it. But look at the pistols coming out from G2. They have recovered at least one weapon. That's going to be with Kellogg's now. Redguard trying to deny. Nats finds Kellogg's. Oh, this is where it gets a bit problematic. Look at the HP. This was so good. This was such a great round. It's still a good round, I guess, technically. But you want that close. Nuki and Coldamenta, what more can you do?
Coldamenta's got Hunter's Fury here, so that's the plan. Nats Viper's Pit if he wants to try and isolate one of them, but Coldamenta playing pretty close by, and actually Nuki going to find one with the Operator, but the Snakebite will trade it out here. Now, does Coldamenta push through?
1 HP. He's on it. He's trying to work around this. Taps the spike. Coldamenta waiting patiently. It's a match of nerves here. Coldamenta checks again. Nothing. He knows he's reading it so well, but this could all still be undone. Coldamenta might have just done this so perfectly. He didn't even need the Hunter's Fury. He has played the other ultimate, Nats' ultimate, to perfection, and Nats knows you're going to have to just bow down on that one and take the hit.
A fantastic recovery. Nuki finding that kill with the Operator. Again, I think he literally had another second or two to sit inside that Snakebite. The timing, absolutely crucial on that kill, but well played to Coldamenta. Keep it a cool head. Keeps Gambit honest for the time being.
Yes.
One round separates them. Yeah, well, varied levels of investment here from Gambit, as I see a Bucky pop up again. The 2 Vandals and a couple of Sheriffs as well.
Oh, he's heard the steps again. Here we go. So much utility just to clear this out, and rightly so. Nats has been a problem. Has to fall away this time. So, utility done its work. Ferried their passage through, but it is a split. There's 3 players up middle right now. And it's Nats being kind of pinched in the middle. Nuki's going to find that, take the space. Redguard going to connect one, but it's still G2 trading effectively, keeping those guns working as they should. Now, Shados and Chronicle do have rifles still. And Nuki going to find Defo. So down to the last 2. Last one. Chronicle in a 1v3 now. Very unlikely, and G2 have managed to overcome some of those potential problems, some of those sore points.
He's not got an Odin, so...
Well, yeah, GG.
I'm calling this one, Lauren.
Yeah, call it.
He'll make his way down beside Orange again. As backup plan, Coldamenta still got a Hunter's Fury. I don't think at this point Chronicle's even interested in Diffuse. Damage, if anything here, if possible. Please no.
Don't be weird. Don't be weird. There
Thank
it
you.
is. Okay.
Thank you.
I get so nervous sometimes that something weird's going to happen.
There's a moment where I'm just like, yeah, he's not interested in the Diffuse, is he?
4-4. G2, they're building. I mean, and waiting patiently, I think, is the thing. So I've seen GAMBIT do well. I've seen G2 have moments, but I want to see it looking across the board. So I'm a bit reserved to see G2 at 4-4 for now. I want to see them take that lead and start building into it, because by all rights, they have been winning some pretty decent rounds. They've, you know, been stringing them together. Now it's starting to look a little bit better.
Interestingly enough, and again, as I say that, Defo actually going to get caught up a little bit on the duel there with Kellogg's. That's in place to trade it out, but down to 85 HP, no armor remaining. And the Hunter Fury perfectly lines up to catch Nats on the first, the second. You see, all he can do is roll his eyes there. Shados will get the res off anyway. Still in a 4v4. See, yeah, Vova. A little bit of parkour. We'll get the res back up for Kellogg's as well.
What a champion. Ooh. Sketchy for Mixwell, but a quick rotation coming out. It's going to swing that pendulum into the hands of Chronicle if they do continue to go towards A. But as it stands, G2 going to hit these rotations. They're not afraid to be doing this. Bear in mind, they got a lot of picks, but that res coming out may have just been enough to go, no, we don't fancy that. No need to go for it. Fancy our chances, but maybe Chronicle fancies something else. Snooki's now gone down. If he finds another individual fight, I'm worried. He's going to at least see one. Knows one's planting. He's painting together this picture in his mind. Dementa, there it is. It's actually Mixwell in middle with a lovely lurk. Beautiful timing. Shados with a stunner of a shot, but plenty of targets here. Nats has found Mixwell. It's a 2v2. G2, come on. When are you digging your heels in, boys? This shouldn't have gone dangerous, and now it's getting a little worrisome. Kellogg's going to just dash across.
Well played.
And he does get Shados. Very well done there. They managed that composure that I was worried was going to slip away from them.
So you talk about them building. I feel like actually the biggest positive I could see right now of G2 is a pace change. They're playing these very, very slow. They're baiting a little bit of presence on B, and every single time the plan is to end A. With Nookie in that position on pipes, they're always coming back to that. It's always a contingency. I can't help but feel actually a couple of quick rounds, especially now where they can punish the economy and make use of this lesser weaponry once again. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Well, these are the ones where they can really, really pile on the pressure to GAMBIT. Yeah,
GAMBIT not quite finding an answer, and the economy's been brutalized. Nookie even getting the first pick as well. Couldn't ask for much better. And Shados having to respect that here. Kellogg's going to take that space. Brilliant shot from this man. It's been not necessarily quietly impressing us, but certainly impressing us every time we see him. The aim is looking good. Mechanically very sharp. There's Defo not fancying his odds here, but I've been wrong in the past. I don't think I'm going to be wrong this time.
Mixwell will punish him inside the smoke as well. That'll be the green light. G2 to push on through. Mixwell actually to try and make use of this space while he can. Labored, but finds the headshot in the end, and Shados will respond over there to seal the deal. And a clean victory here for Survive, and now G2 have got the buffer, right? The next 2 rounds, regardless, they've got a purchase in place. A couple of ultimates coming online as well. Really, really big opportunity actually here. If this buy round goes in G2's favor, look at what's left. 1,600 credits across the board for GAMBIT. Staring down the barrel of an 8-4 half if G2 can keep this up.
This is huge for G2. This is a big build back. Like,
massive.
Map 1 was horrible. If you're a G2 fan, let alone a G2 player, that was a really harsh map for them. Mentally, in every aspect, that was a brutal display. But this is a great way to recover. This builds them back in for potentially map 3 if required. And at this point, we wait.
Take flight.
Chronicle leaning a little further forward this time. He does have support. They have the players in the right place this time, at least.
Out of targets.
Has to fall away from it. Nookie going to take that space, that back and forth game here so far, just territory being exchanged. But Defo not pulling the trigger just yet. Still waiting for that first chance on this, and timing's going to be everything. G2 on that boiling point, about to push towards a site, and actually it's Shados to find Mixwell. I thought he had that one, but it's Defo towards Nookie as well. Effective trades for GAMBIT so far, but the site's still under pressure, and the spike should be able to go down. Kellogg's better get his gun out, because he ain't alone here. Plenty of players around and plenty of targets. Shados up above, has a look, it's Kellogg's great positioning. Oh, it's got Redgar! Whew. Okay. The fuse comes in. I was a little nervous when I see that ult get popped there. I thought he was about to just absolutely fly down on him, but all good.
I mean, potentially there, the fact that he survives as long as he did inside Nest, he's able to isolate 1v1, so yes with the ultimate if he finds the first right click.
Who knows?
30 HP in a dream?
Seen weirder things.
But, as we know, I mean, the important thing there is with the damage done, Gambit still are able a full purchase here. And that's the big thing. Again, this would have been terrible. Even with the loss bonus, it would have been light armors, it wouldn't have been full util, and ultimately, a couple of big components missing, right? If they lose that out, they're not one away from the Blade Storm. Obviously, Defo's got the Operator anyway, but you know, Redguard's not got that progress towards Hunter's Fury. I didn't catch whether or not Nats had his online. I think Shados did have his revive available in the previous, but the flip side of that, Mixwell, Viper's bit of his own. Big post-plant opportunity for them to try and secure things. Elsewhere, pretty much everything invested there. I mean, other than the revive, but everything that was available. If I'm not mistaken, Coldamenta was around previous to that, but still, things will be even coming into round 12. And again, it's that pivotal moment, right? We're either going to 8-4 or there's a chance to equal it up. And it's such a big difference. It's such a big difference.
And even just looking at it, man, it just feels different. It hits different, and obviously the economy is a factor eventually. But at this point, I have to wait and see. Good test this round, and there's that ult coming out. Popping that towards B, so that's going to be under wraps. But the response from G2 is straight up middle anyway. They are full sending this. There's not too much patience to this. This is actually quite pacey from them, and now they've got to be careful. Defo's watching this. That's one. Notes the spike as well, dropping off of over. Pops the ult, up and over we go, but the ult popped on the other side. Mixwell going to live inside this for now. Coldamenta still trying to catch towards middle. It's Shados and Chronicle trying to build back through, and it's looking real green towards B.
That's a big win, actually. That's the revive. Down and unavailable here for Gambit. Mixwell considered it for a moment.
Yeah, he was
considered
thinking.
it. But the spike is down next to Orange. I guess kind of leaning in Gambit's favor, but Coldamenta will find another. Brings it to a 3v3. Mixwell's ultimate could become a big swing point here for G2. If they're able to stabilize.
Oh, they're pushing.
I love this response. It's Defo and Nats are going to slip behind this. Nuki's up top as well.
This timing's great. Does he pull the trigger on the first? He does. He actually chose to, but did he spot Coldamenta? I'm not sure if he did. He knows now, though. Coldamenta keeps this one at least viable. Keep in mind that Mixwell was still holding towards that B side. They now know that they must have pushed that ult. They must have been putting together this concept. But Nats, he's still there, still showing presence, and it's on Mixwell.
Hey,
the man of experience has to get this.
Two snake bites.
It's a 1v2.
Two snake bites a wall. I'm liking this for Mixwell, honestly.
Yeah, but he wants that pick. He wanted that pick so badly. He was trying to play the timing on it, and I don't even blame him.
No.
If you're in a 1v2, you kind of want to try and get that timing on the first there, and maybe give himself that 1v1 to play with that utility, to give himself that opportunity to not get pressured down.
Well,
can't do much now.
That's the thing. There's that 10-second window, right? It was like, yes, I could potentially swing out, catch them off guard. You know, somebody's waiting for that second teammate to come in for the retake. And like you said, it's catching fortunate timing, but fortunate being the important word in that.
Yeah.
Can't blame him for that. 6-6. Again, a stark contrast to map 1.
Very much so.
And I know Lothar had a lot to say about the attacking half of Gambit. Let's see what we get here. Did he called it as hyper aggro pistol round, right? I think with this scoreline, again, it's an opportunity really for Gambit to strike while the iron is hot, I'll say. Because G2 has still got to be feeling the pressure. I mean, this is on the brink of elimination here.
Defo. Straight on in, mid's his. Coldamenta, and there was a Vova looking that way. Oh, that's some tasty damage. 50 HP to work with. Nade to follow. That could have been a death sentence waiting. It wasn't. Now, this is a bit of a project, bit of an ice sculpture. No subtlety to it either, and Avova's having none of it.
We'll find one. Kellogg's actually gets tagged up as well as swing comes through. Nuki will find 3 kills in mid.
How's he done that? How's he walked mid? How How on earth did he just walk mid
Well,
like it's deathmatch and just absolutely body people? Excuse me?
I guess when you hear a team trying to knife away at the wall in tube, you got a pretty good idea that he's not solo.
True.
But
true.
maybe Gambit overstaying their welcome a little bit. Not sure what the intention behind that was, because again, yeah, I'm fine with baiting a few sound cues on the wall, but to hang around and then give over the first, yeah, not sure.
Yeah. Me neither.
I don't know about that one.
Look, I love the fact that when something weird happens, it one catches us out, and then you'll see the observer just like, wait, what? Why is he in middle? But shout out to Zilf. Doing the Lord's work here. And there's just the firing squad on the other side. So Avova has to fall away, respect that. There's no point pushing on that sort of peak. And you can see the intention from Gambit are just trying to catch any aggression, any potential opportunity here, but look how deep G2 are now sitting.
Kellogg's still find the head of Chronicle, even on the back of a weird peak, I gotta say, unorthodox at least.
One down.
Well, the second, Nats just trying to recover, I guess, the ghost. There's another victim just the other side of that. Shados there with the spike. I was actually going to try and find this. Okay, well, the orb and the headshot, I guess. It's double the ult progress towards Bladestorm.
Yeah, why not? And honestly, clean rounds from G2 here. That's what you want to see. No threats, no problems. Keep this composure building. Bring a little bit of this back now. Find that form, find that kind of zone that you fall into, because now you're going to be up against a pretty well bought out Gambit. Not perfect by any means. Redgar's going to have to suffer a little bit in this regard, but again, if you convert this one, it's game on. If you get that three back-to-back, that would be perfection. But, you know, a little unlikely, but it's something to aim for here. Definitely going to cross early. Is Avova going to be waiting on the other side, looking for that starting control, but a quick play up middle as well. Can't ignore it. Nat's just going to walk this. Dude, this is nuts. Nats could catch him. He's absolutely caught him with his pants down. Coldamenta just chilling out in the old drone, but it is going to be traded back into, so Nookie's instantly dealt with that as well. So not a bad trade, and maybe a gun to be upgraded too, but we'll have to wait and see, as it's now down to 3. Mixwell, Nookie, and Avova. Gambit should be picking this up, but G2 have something else to say. Defo trying to cross a little early, and it's actually Avova to punish. No utility on the cross, no one to really pressure Avova off that angle. And of course they're going to be a bit fruity, a bit aggressive. They're working with lesser weaponry. Why not take those fights?
I think Chronicle just spotted Mixwell here. Nookie's actually going to walk at the same time, and look at this. G2 turning this one back in their favor with another kill. We'll get the plant down. Again, look at the post plant here. Well, doesn't even get started. Redgar going to be found. Nookie on the flank. G2 now.
Amazing.
Convert around the... I got to say, I'm fine with Nats finding that kill, but it's uncharacteristic to not see a second layer to that. There's no trade in place, right? Nats is kind of then out on an island, and it's probably... In this composition, it's Nats and Shados that are the two that can kind of secure a plant, right? It's the walls on both of those agents. Anybody else, I'm fine with that push. Because again, with where the owl drone's coming from, it's not as if somebody's not going to be close by to Coldamenta, even if they're a little, you know, the spacing's 2 to 3 seconds. There's no way that the odds don't stack in favor of a trade.
Part of me is very happy that G2's been able to kind of string together these 3 that are going to put them in such a good position to open up for that third, which, if I'm not mistaken, would be Bind.
Correct. Well, I mean, let's call it how it is. I mean, they got slapped here on ICEBOX yesterday. I got to say it. Like, they literally...
Yeah, you weren't impressed.
No. So, this here to come out versus Gambit, and again, no shade towards Giants, to put this performance on with Gambit's recent track record on this map, hey, who the hell was in the server in map 1? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. No, this is a different look to G2 so far. But again, we look at Gambit. I haven't been blown away yet by them on this map. I think some of the bits we saw very early on when we first saw Gambit, you know, we first saw Nats on this map, I was like, okay, he's a bit of a specialist, fair enough. But this isn't one that's been, you know, the crowning jewel for me. But that's beyond the point. For now, G2 are at 9-6. They've worked down the money well enough that they're going to humble Gambit's economy in this one. Nookie. having to fall away a little bit here. Respect the build-up. Maybe unsure of the purchase. It is a bit of a mixed bag. Mixwell spamming away, but no connection. I think Defo took a touch of damage earlier on, but ooh, that could have been maybe a problem.
Screen down.
Actually, Nuki going to pop the showstopper in response. Will spot out Chronicle.
Oh.
Stuck behind the gate there. No escape from that one.
Screen down.
Mixwell will actually post up now next to the barrels. Ooh, Defo nearly actually just caught sight of him, but again, Spectre versus Phantom. It would be an awkward engagement if Defo did decide to take it. Gambit will freeze for a moment. Now, G2 can hold as well. Look where Avova is. There's no threat whatsoever. Again, even Kellogg's being out here with no sound cues, I guess, towards Avova. Just a plan B, but certainly Cordamenta could drift a little further.
Mixwell's seen enough. He's read this really well. Finds one. Oh, this is Mixwell just loving life there. Perfect timing, great positioning and patience. And you're right, it was that hold as well from, I think it was Avova in middle, just posted up. There was no reason to doubt anything.
No,
they had everything covered.
No. Again, only if things get a little funky is when you'd like to see Cordamenta come a little closer, but with Mixwell where he was, and again, the engagement here is really awkward for Gambit. Around the utility, the weaponry involved. Really great setup from Mixwell here. And played off his utility perfectly as well. And Gambit tried to draw down, at least wait out the Toxin or wait out the rotation, but the timing there, he still had enough left in the tank.
Now it looks like try it again, this time in rifles, but we do at least have a little bit more presence across the board, so not expecting masses of pace to this. Ooh, Kellogg's getting forced away now. This gives a bit of room for Gambit to maybe springboard off, but they haven't fully committed to this just yet. You can see them considering it. Chronicle now takes that step across the line towards the sign. He's actually going towards Nest. Now, there's a problem on the other side. It was Cordamenta, but he's been bound by Defo. It's Mixwell who's been the critical piece in this, and he's still finding such value. This man has got a motive this time. He is truly pushing G2 forward as Nats and Shados. They ain't the players that are normally going to be close by to this.
And actually, is that Nats? Yes, it was Nats retrieving the orb. So Viper's Pit will be available here. As I say that, Shados goes wandering. He's on a walkabout.
Oh, buddy, this ain't easy. This ain't pretty. This ain't kind. What can you do with this? You're in a 1v4. You've got your ult, and you've got, what, 26 seconds to play with? A spike plant would be a miracle at this point. Drawing out a couple of shots, but no one presenting that first chance. Maybe going to look for Mixwell. He's not been able to give much, and look at this time. Down to 12 seconds now. The clock has been ripped away from him, and Mixwell's just doing the dance. He will just draw time away from you, pour it out of your pocket as Nats. Yeah, no one is giving him anything. That might be a bad idea. There it is. Maybe you can do enough to keep that away from them. Don't think anyone can get that in time. No, very well done. A small benefit, but again,
I think it matches.
G2. Yeah, you're right. I think at this point I have to look at Mixwell here because you know he hasn't been one of those highlight players in a little while. You know, he's not that superstar pop off. He's a great player. I casted him in CS. I can't not enjoy watching Mixwell. But you know, Kellogg's taking a bit of the spotlight, Nuki taking a bit of that spotlight, and that's fine. But he's been a bit of a rock when it comes to that A-hold there. He's had a couple of rounds now where he's been the man to keep it together for them.
He has, and again, we all fall guilty. Now, you talk about win conditions for G2, your eyes go towards Kellogg's and Nuki, right?
Yes.
And historically, it would be Mixwell on the Jet. Those are the foundations still of G2 in Valorant. So that's the thing. Can never ever rule him out, because when he does come online, I mean, these rounds, dare I say it, G2 barely breaking sweat in some of them. Like I said, that previous you could kind of nitpick and you know, identify a few flaws in the setup, but again, when you've got somebody like Mixwell that's just going to go, yeah, okay, well, I'll find 3 kills. Don't worry about it. We don't need that third player here on A side, because I'm going to find 3 kills. And
the one thing I will say as well is, man's got LAN experience like more than most. You know, maybe, you know, North America, I think 100 Thieves probably has, I'd say, the most LAN experience if you combine the players just as a collective. But Mixwell he's put in the hours. The man will be a LAN beast for sure, but Of course, that's neither here nor there as we are back underway. And speaking of, he's gone a little aggressive. He might be feeling himself here, and why not? If you've got that hot hand, if it's all lining up, put him down. Mixwell just controlling, staying large and in charge, and he's expecting that next player, but he's going to fall away. Just makes it away in time, but he'll be just fine, and he's even looking for it again. I like this version of Mixwell. If we get the spicy Mixwell, I'm happy.
He is now... I mean, recoverable, yes. Find a kill, but they won't. Nats will land the headshot, but Mixwell even with 5 HP, and we'll get the heal now, but also the second, actually. Redgar's still able to isolate that one. And G2, the body's in place already. 45 seconds left. They got time to go elsewhere, but they need a kill. Regardless of what happens, and it needs to come in the next 15 seconds or so.
Long we have waited. Godwell activated.
How long ago did you scribble that down? Was that in like round 14?
About 5
13?
years,
Okay.
mate. About 5 years.
All
Still
right,
had the
okay.
optic jersey on.
Hashtag green wall.
It is good that he's now playing Viper. I feel it all adds up, you know. But at this point, it is more of just filling out of the form as G2 waited, and it's 12 on the board. They have found everything they needed in this map. This gives them a little bit of backbone to come back in on, because map 1 was a blowout, and I think anyone who's got a pair of eyes is going to tell you that. It was just, all right, GG go next, right? There's no reason to sugarcoat it. This is a different G2. This is a patient G2. They have a little bit of power in their individuals as well. They're finding a little bit of balance, and a timeout called at this time. Buck, what do you make of this?
No, this is interesting. You know, they really want to, you know, tighten things up a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot to refine.
Dot the I's, cross the T's. This is a big round here, because if they slip up, Gambit are only 5 rounds. No, I'm joking. It's this is the mind games. This is it, and a visible attempt to get inside. Maybe, you know, scratch the surface of Gambit. But I've got to say, after what we were talking about on map 1,
yep.
Do we just see a repeat of the timeline of yesterday, right?
Maybe.
Yesterday, map 1 throwaway.
Map 1's a bit, yeah.
Play it like a pug. A warm up in ranked. The unrated first. This is the Radiant rank up game. We get to map 3, God only knows what happens.
Hey, that ain't that the question, right? It's like, what do we see? Do we see the Gambit from map 1, or do we see the G2 from map 2? Who knows? Because again, this isn't a bad map traditionally for Gambit statistically, so take what you want from that. Again, it's kind of hard to derive performance from, you know, regionally based statistics. It's quite tricky, but that aside, it's not a bad map. But we're into this one, and it's Gambit's chance to maybe save some pride on this map, but I've got to say, it looks like G2 are very, very much in the right direction. That's keeping a little control of any mid-aggression, but this does at least facilitate a touch of Defo getting towards the side, gets the first contact towards Rafters, but no kill off the back, more damage received.
Well, we'll pop the Viper's Pit immediately, actually. Looking at Coldamenta considering picking up the slack elsewhere. Again, Shados just tucked, waiting for the one round. The Kellogg's will push B. He's not being given anything, and actually Gambit looking as if they're going to drift back in Kellogg's direction. They need something to force him off this angle here. The updraft might be it. It will draw the shot at least. Now his position noted, the Lear to seal the deal.
There we go. How much damage can one man do? Kellogg's presented, but it looks like he hasn't expected Defo just hitting that cross just perfectly. The timing was so right for Defo. Gets himself a free op too. That's lovely. And now we've got that late mid lurk as well from Redgar. This is still not bad, but Mixwell might navigate around this.
He spotted him. He spotted him.
Redgar seen him. You can see the comms
screaming.
come through. Turn around, there's a flank. Do not forget about this, but it is Godwell. Still on the way through. Redgar has punished Avova, though, trying to work through middle. And Mixwell's now feeling a little worried here. Maybe surrounded, noted. Defo finds him. There it is. Confirmation that he had been spotted on that cross. As Nookie and Coldamenta given very few chances here.
Let's see. We'll find 2 in response. Now, only 3 remain. This is when it gets worrying, because they're falling. Rez has to be invested here. And again, if we were in a couple of rounds to start discussing comebacks, then a round like this that's cost him way more than it should do, Lauren. This is, if anything, bigger picture, a win for G2. Yep, round goes the other way, but with the economy being so delicate for GAMBIT, there's a lot lost out.
What do they do coming into this? That's the first thing that's worked on this half. First round in this half. And, I mean, is that repeatable success? Is that something they can manage again? Or was that just an opportunity that struck? A shot missed? One opportunity gone astray? Was that... I don't know if it's repeatable. Let's see. How much is in the tank? 12 to 7. GAMBIT. Given a lifeline. And it is just that. But Kellogg's... Gonna fall off this. Sit back towards B, and again, it's a similar start. The same sort of mirror matchup towards middle to an extent. Both players playing patiently, but it's Chronicle to find Mixwell, so that's already a bit of an issue to be found here.
Yeah, this is...
Avova wants to clear this. Hold on. There it is. Good work from Avova. Okay, straight back in towards Nats. We're back at a 4v4, and this BP still slowly coming out from GAMBIT.
Hold tight for the time being as Kellogg's and Cold Menta keep an eye on. Actually, Shadows nearly slips through. Kellogg's escapes with his life, but actually, Shadows going to pile on the pressure. We'll seal the deal, find another kill. Cold Menta now. Last hope, and he will fall. Kellogg's does get revived, though. G2 now in a 3v4. Kellogg's has the Blade Storm now, though. After that death. Possibility here because the operator's difficult to find something with.
For these post plants. Excuse me. Someone. No, please,
okay.
someone don't.
Well then.
Avova. As if you've done it. As if you've done it. 4 of them just gonna sit there and watch.